Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to thank my right honourable friend for both the tone and the substance of his response to this devastating report today, and also to add my voice to the consensus across the House that the way this is being handled is utterly vital, and we must make sure that the NHS does take on board Donna Ockenden's recommendations. She and her team of over 90 experienced clinicians are properly being thanked for the work they've done. They painstakingly reviewed these cases going back some 20 years, and it must have been harrowing for them, as of course it has been for all the families so tragically affected who've had to relive their tragedy. In particular, I'd like to praise the courage and tenacity of Rhiannon, Stanton, Davies and Richard Davies, who were my constituents when they lost their baby Kate in truly awful and tragically avoidable circumstances. It was they who kept pressing for answers from Shrewsbury and Telford Hospital Trust, and which led me to take them to see my right honourable friend, the member for Surrey South West, when he was Health Secretary, who agreed to launch this review 5 years ago. They are no longer my constituents, and I understand they're now keen, understandably, to focus their attention on their family, having been living with this trauma since 2009. I have some questions for the Secretary, if I may. Does my right honourable friend recognise that the Ockenden Review has raised fundamental questions for maternity services across the NHS over the culture of so-called normal birth, and how a focus on targets under successive governments rather than patient outcomes can distort clinical best practice and tragically patient safety? And from his discussion with the current Chief Executive that he touched on in his remarks, is he satisfied that the current management and clinical teams at SAF have accepted the local actions for learning made by the initial Ockenden report and are committed to study and implement rapidly all further recommendations specific to this trust? And finally, what reassurance can he give to the thousands of expectant mothers in Shropshire and Telford and Wrekin that the maternity services there are safe and that patient safety is paramount?
State.
First, can I thank my honourable friend for the way he has also worked with my department and my predecessor, representing his constituency the way he has throughout this investigation. He's talked about the so-called normal birth, and he's right to use to say so-called, because really, Mr. Speaker, the only normal birth is a safe birth, and that is what the NHS should be working to, and that clearly did not happen in this trust, and this report has made that absolutely clear. But just as importantly is to set out a number of recommendations, including for my honourable friend's local NHS trust, and I can absolutely reassure him, including from my conversation earlier today with the current Chief Executive, that the recommendations from the interim report have all been implemented by his local trust, and the ones that are in this report have all been accepted.